I mean, probably not for any acting, not for any acting related things.
It takes sibling rivalry to a whole other level.
I think the sibling rivalry was very normal. I think I think the reasons maybe she hated me as a kid were definitely not acting related. Probably just being an annoying little brother.
Oh, you think was there just you and her with your parents, and then how old were you when they divorced?
They separated when I was 10. They got divorced when I was 20.
Oh wow! Okay, so wow.
And
how'd that work? Oh, I guess they felt so. Your dad didn't remarry until a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were both. I mean, it was just divorce is complicated. They were both. They were very much moved on with their lives after they separated, and it was a really positive thing. They have become really better friends because of it, and they're so supportive when it comes to me and my sister. So it's made everything really good, and they both found new partners who they love very much and who I adore both of them. My stepmom and my stepdad are incredible people. So it's really been a positive thing. And I gained some siblings, so hey.
Is your mom Jewish?
Yes.
Okay.
And both my parents are Jewish.
Yeah, because I was just saying, because I wanted to talk about that birthright Israel.
Yeah.
And the first word is taglit. Is that how you say it?
Taglit, yeah.
Taglit, and that means history or your history?
I don't know.
So my next question is, so you don't speak Hebrew?
No.
Okay. Do you speak any Yiddish?
I know
Probably
a little. I know like words here and there that my parents use, but sadly I don't. Definitely I want to after that trip get more in touch with.
I was curious what motive. Did you have a bar mitzvah?
Yes.
So then you are Jewish.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
I grew up going to temple. I did the high holidays.
Yeah. So you did that. Yeah.
I went to a Reform temple, and
so you were like, not rich, but you had some money. I always wanted to be Jewish because I would have loved to have money at 13.
You know what?
I would have been bat mitzvah.
Bar mitzvahs are they're very profitable.
Exactly.
No, it's funny because
yeah.
I bought a drum set with me, really nice drum set with most of that. It was really cool. It was awesome.
Yeah. So when you did a friend of yours turn you on to this Birthright Israel?
I was aware of it very early. The program. It's really popular for a lot of people in LA and New York.
Didn't you go just last year though?
What?
Didn't you do it last year?
I just did it a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in the age you had to hurry and do it because they have a certain age range. 27 is the cutoff. I'm 26. Yeah.
My sister told me to wait until the later years because she thought I would really take it in more and really absorb more if I were a little bit more mature. And I agree with her. Maybe at 18, 19, I'd be just excited to be out of the country. Where I was, of course, excited to be out of the country, but I really took everything in, and it was a really meaningful trip. And my sister did it when she was a little younger, and she loved it. And she set the expectations really high, but it exceeded them.
Wonderful.
It was a really great trip.
Yeah, I read some of your quotes. You said that when you'd be on the steps above the Western Wall, right?
Yeah.
And to see the sunset.
Yeah.
And then I was reading about it that you always have a guard with you so that to protect everyone. How many people are in the group? Like 10 or 12?
40.
Woo, 40.
Yeah.
And then they so you can't go to Gaza Strip or you can't go to East.
There's certain places they definitely don't go, but you feel so safe on the trip. It's really a really well run organization.
Were you able to go to the old temple? You went to the old city, right?
Yeah,
Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And I guess you could fit in the doors, right? I was just told that Jesus was really tiny. Mm-hmm. I mean, because they're like for 5'7" or 5'8". Yeah. Not that I mean you're Jewish. I know you're going to find this hard to believe. I actually converted to Judaism one time, and a lot of it's left me. So let me think. Because
Jerusalem's amazing.
I met people that are Jews for Jesus. Jews for Jesus.
Oh,
have you met those people?
I actually haven't, but there's a guy who writes. There was a guy who started sending to my mom. I don't know how I got my mom's address, but this guy writes these books that are for Jews for Jesus. I don't know if he's trying to convert me to that, but my mom, these books started showing up on my mom's. I don't live with my mom. They started showing up on my mom's doorstep. I think it was a year and a half ago, and it was like addressed to me, and it was it was the weirdest thing that somebody would send something to my mom's house. But you know what I don't care what anyone believes in as long as it makes them a better person.
Did you go to the Wailing Wall?
Yes.
Yeah, that's very. I haven't been there. I've just heard that that's magnificent. That you just. The energy there. But I've also been told on this show that I'm on, Jane the Virgin, my daughter in the show, Yael Groblas, she is from Israel. So she speaks, in our first AD, we speak Russian, Jewish, Hebrew. And I would go on with a bunch of like Bashert, or I would try to impress her with my Yiddish, Nisvan Yiddish Kidder, and I would say Ganza Machar, and all this stuff. And she would say, what are you doing? What are you talking about? I go, no, this is, Yiddish. And she goes, well, if you ever go to Israel, please don't talk like that, because nobody talks like that. Because all those Jews are probably old and dead. I was like, oh, wow, okay. But I just think it's very... Like, I always wished I was Jewish, because, like, I call Ted my non-Jew Jew, because he doesn't he seem Jewish? I mean, he kind of, or terrorism. He has that terrorist look and then the Jewish look.
I didn't think either of those things when I met him. I could see Italian.
Oh, he did.
I could see Italian.
No, because he just did a short and he played a Palestine. And I said, see, this is your calling. I mean, you look like, when he has longer hair, looks like a terrorist. But anyway, I love Judaism. I haven't really read the Torah that much, but it's just that I'm Irish. So there's a real similarity between Jews and Irish, right? It's the whole rhythm, and no matter what happens, you just see the humor in it, right? And when I was on Three's Company, I would always get notes in my line readings, and I was your age, and they were saying, too Jewish. My line readings were actually Jewish, because I was always, around Jews. So, but me being Irish, I always wanted to be Jewish because they tell stories. Like you had said that you had lost your grandfather in Auschwitz, and you believe you've been told both on your mother and father's side, or just on one side?
My dad's side, I believe they fled beforehand. My dad was born in a refugee camp, though.
He was? Where?
In Germany.
Really?
Yeah. And then they moved to Canada, so I'm actually a dual citizen of Canada.
So your dad's a lot older than your mom, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
12 or 13 years.
I think so, too, because when I was reading, I could be your mom.
But it's definitely ingrained in my family. My grandfather survived. He lost his sister and his mother. He had to bury them, and so it's he would tell me stories, and I was really lucky that he was open about it, because I think it's really important to pass that stuff down, and generate, because I got to know him, which is amazing, but if I have kids, it's going to be a step removed from that. So we actually have recordings of him before he passed talking about his stories, because it should be passed down to generations.
He was talking about stories about what he went through. Yeah. And he was how old when he went through that? He'd probably be little.
I believe he got out when he was 13 or 14.
I was just going to say, he must have been.
Because he had pictures he would show me of when he got out.
Was there just him? Was he the only one who got out?
Him and his dad made it. Yeah.
I know it's very profound, because when I listen to your readings, I mean, especially with the birthright, you're very connected to that. So it's something that you feel that, because you're a deep thinker, you always want to be better. You have a life. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Did you? It's impossible to believe looking at you, but you must have. Were you ever a dick? I mean, like maybe somewhere along the line.
You know what?
You haven't hit it yet.
I think we all have tendencies to be
a dick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't? No one's perfect.
No.
I've been doing a lot of work on myself. I go to therapy. I try to be the best person I can be. I always have good intentions. because what, life is short. I want to love people. I want to be happy. I want positivity around me.
It's true, but you are so young. I mean, I know you don't feel young.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. People say I'm young, and I think, oh no, every age I was, I never felt young. I always felt like I had the world on my shoulders. Yeah,
I mean, it's and especially being in a tough industry from a younger age, like it's you have no choice but to I feel like embrace positivity or it's going to eat you alive.
Well, I know, but we have a good radar when you're in a good bullshit radar. We just kind of do. Like, how many times you watch a movie and you go, nah, buy it. We don't fall for the tricks that other people fall for. Like when somebody dies and they're and an actor's at a cemetery and they put up their sunglasses. He doesn't have the goods, right? I mean, he's not breaking down. So all those things. But when you speak, you're a very authentic person.
Thank you.
And you really are, because you're willing to say, I have flaws. I have, faults.
Yeah.
You always try to look at what, and you said, and it's true. When you said about traveling, right?
Yeah.
You said something very similar. I have never been to Israel, but the traveling that I've done, I've always thought that the government should have a program, right? And instead of, it should be a government program that they send children, right? Not just to live in other places like they do now, exchange student, but actually spend time there, because that's where bigotry goes.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, otherwise you do have big bigotry. You don't know even about. I remember when I went to China once, and I thought I didn't know what the flight attendants were saying. It sounded like chicken scratch. Now, when I came home a month later, I couldn't speak Chinese, but I was really comfortable with that language.
And you can. I mean, that's the thing is, different languages can definitely be intimidating.
Do you speak any other language?
I don't, unfortunately, but I feel like that when I've traveled, where it's like where languages can be intimidating because you can't even pick out a rhythm or pick out, make sense of anything. But the longer you are there and embrace the culture, you can start to like pick little things out and be like, oh, I see where like a sentence ends and where it starts, or and it's I think education. I think traveling is the best education.
It is,
and I think my job for being able to, like when I did The Little Vampire, we did 5 months in Germany.
Oh, you did? Where in Germany?
Outside of, we worked in Dusseldorf, but I lived outside of Dusseldorf in a place called Essen.
Oh, yeah.
And, you learn a lot just being able to, learn certain things when you go and you order. And it's just, it's really important. It's really important, I think, for kids to travel. And
did they have any camps here into Dusseldorf? Old camps? I'm just trying to think.
I
don't
think
know.
So.
Because I was in Krakow, and I did a couple movies in Poland, and they had these camps. I mean, they aren't just the famous one like Auschwitz. I mean, they got them. It's a way of life over there, and I was like overwhelmed. I was like, wow.
It's it's incredible to be able to go places where, because it's like, I feel like kids go up here and they don't realize that we're a very, very new country, and going other places where things have profound history. Like I said, I can't say it enough. It's the best education. It really is, and I feel very fortunate that my job has brought me a lot of different places. And
also too, because we are a new country, I find that like when I would go overseas, you would say women. They had like nude women doing the news in Australia. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but they were doing it. This is like 20 years ago. So we're known as such a sexual country, I think, but everything is fake. Like our boobs. They sound like that. You know what I mean? I mean, everything is all show, no go. I wouldn't call women. I ask you this question. So, when you're dating, do you think women are really that sexual? I mean, as a culture, because you're very profound. I'm asking you this not as a joke. I swear
that's a hard question.
Do you know what I mean by that?
I don't really.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand.
Okay. How about this? In Europe, the prime minister and they have mistresses, and they accept that they have mistresses. Poor Bill Clinton. I mean, he had Monica. If he has a mistress, he gets impeached and he gets thrown out. Me, I'm of the thinking. I would rather my president is happy and having great sex and getting his dick sucked than not having it at all, right? I mean, he's less to press that button. I mean, I really think that way.
It's hard. I think that a lot of people in this day and age, we're living longer, and marriage I think has taken completely a different meaning. Because there's so many divorces. I think back when people were only lived till they were 60 years old, marriage, you wanted that partner and you stayed with them. I'm not the best person to ask on this. I haven't had a relationship last longer than a year and a half. So, but I think
But that's okay.
Yeah, I think that.
At least
if I'm going to stick with, if I'm going to stick with someone, I'm going to stick with someone I would not want to be like in an open relationship. I just,
No.
yeah, I would want to, I'd want to stick with that person. I know that's it's like a really popular thing.
What, to have open relationships?
Yeah, I've run into so many people who are in open relationships. For me, I guess I'm a little more traditional in the fact that if I find someone, I'm sticking with them unless it's not working out.
I haven't thought about that, but you must really get offered a lot of things that most people your age wouldn't have gotten offered. Okay.